Hey everyone, welcome back. So, today I wanted to cover, in my opinion, what is the top 10 supporters of all time in the Pokemon TCG. Let's just say this first, there's no official list, this is just my opinion, and what I want you to do is to let me know in the comments what is your top 10 supporters of all time for the Pokemon TCG. First off, let's talk about some honorable mentions. All of these 6 cards in my opinion are great cards, but I will tell you what's problem with them here. First card in the left corner is Lysander. Lysander is a great gusting card, but in my opinion it's outclassed by a different card. Acerola is a great card also, but the downside of being only the damaged Pokemon makes it a little bit lesser of good for me, and I have a replacement for it actually in the top 10. Next one is Lysander's Trump card, one of the first banned card in the game, and to be honest, this is a good card, but not in a mean that it gives you advantage, it just resets the game. It's just an annoying card that needed to be banned because the game just takes even longer than it needs to be. Like most of trainers generates you advantage or disrupt. This doesn't even disrupt, it just resets the game basically. Next is Bridget. So Bridget is a really amazing card. If we got this card currently in the standard format, it will be 100% played with the VMAX decks. The problem is that you get the Pokemon to the bench directly, so effects like Tapu Lele, Crobat V or Dedenne will not work. But again, for setup decks, this is just one of the best cards, if not the best. Next is Lieutenant Surge. This card is banned and expanded for a good reason, to let you play 2 supporters if you are behind on prizes. Next is Cod. This is really old card from Emerald. In my opinion, it's a great search card. Like, if we got this currently in the standard format, I think it's gonna be played a lot. In at the number 10 spot, and a Teammate. So I think Teammate is one of the best card that generates you advantage if you got your Pokemon knocked out last turn. We have something like Rosa, something like Lieutenant Surge. Rosa dependent on you playing a type of a setup deck. Lieutenant Surge dependent on you having other 2 supporters in your hand to play them. In my opinion, Teammate is just the best one of these type of effects. So to just search your deck for 2 cards, this card in my opinion really deserving of the number 10 spot. In at a number 9, and that is Delinquent. So Delinquent in my opinion is one of the top disruption cards. To discard a stadium and also let your opponent discard 3 cards, that's just a really good disruption. This card is banned and expanded for a good reason. This card is really good. Just to discard a stadium by itself was a good effect, but to also let your opponent discard 3 cards, it's 100% deserving to be the 9th spot. The next card is, in my opinion, one of the top generic draw supporters in the game, and that is Professor Juniper or Professor Research, Professor Sycamore of course. So discard your hand and draw 7. Always been good. It's always good card. When this effect got rotated from the standard format in the Sun and Moon era, we missed it so much. Yeah, we are so glad to have it currently in the standard format in the form of Professor's Research. In at a number 7, that is Marnie. In my opinion, Marnie is one of the best draw disruption card. At first glance, you might say it's just a better judge. The fact that it just doesn't shuffle the cards and just put them back into the bottom of the deck, so you don't draw these. This card, since it's released in Sword and Shield, it sees play to this point. In at number 6, the better version of Acerola, of course, AZ. AZ, by no surprise, in my opinion, is the better recursion of a Pokemon on the field. Yeah, to be able to put any Pokemon, you don't need to have it damage or anything, in my opinion, is a great thing. Yeah, the downside here to discard all card attach it might break it to some people, but in my opinion, for cards like Crobat or Dedenne, in my opinion, a better card. In at number 5, the best gusting card in my opinion, and that is Guzma. I say Guzma is better than Lysander or the boss's order effect because I feel like the switching effect is actually really good. So in my opinion, Guzma is just way better. Yeah, sometimes you don't like Guzma, but it's the number 5 spot. In at number 4, one of the banned cards here, it's Hex Maniac. So Hex Maniac, for those who don't know, until the end of your opponent's next turn, each Pokemon in play and in each player hand and in their discard pile has no abilities. Basically an ability lock for an entire turn for both players. What's good about this, because you can play your entire turn with abilities, play this at the end of the turn, and your opponent don't get abilities. This card in my opinion is so good, it got no downside. It deserves to be banned, to be honest. I don't like the ability lock type of deals. Like, I want like some hard form of doing the ability lock, not super easy like this. In my opinion, it deserves to be number 4. And at number 3, in my opinion, the best disruption draw card that is legal, and that is N. All the way back in 2011, stayed with us for over 7 years, so I love this card. Everyone played this card. To this day, when you play expanded format, you lose to this card sometimes. So each player shuffle their hand, draw as how many prizes they got. This card just, in my opinion, it's 100% deserving to at the number 3 spot. And at number 2, that is Colress. In my opinion, Colress is the best draw supporter. This card just has really good text. Like, if this card's currently in the standard format, no one will play actually Eternatus. I feel like people will be scared to play Eternatus. This card, in my opinion, is so absurd. It's just so good. For me, is the number 1 supporter I play in expanded. This card was just so amazing. I love this card so much. The effect is so good. So Colress, in my opinion, 100% deserve to be at the number 2 spot. And in at number 1, in my opinion, the most broken card ever created, and that is Getsus. Hear me about this. It's a banned card. It deserves to be banned. This card has no downside. This just says advantage. They might change the name. Go ahead and change the name and say it's advantage. Really? You reveal your opponent's hand. That's first of all, you get knowledge of your opponent's hand. Second, they shuffle all item cards you found there. That's a second advantage. They lose their item cards. By itself, this is a good effect. But what were they think when they said also to get you draw at the same amount of item cards they shuffle? Like, what the? Why? Why would you do this? This card has no downside. It got 3 advantages all written into it. In my opinion, this card is just the best supporter ever created. This card all over is just insane. So tell me in the comments what you think about these, and tell me your top 10 list. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, share it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.